the opponent, applying pressure to his trachea or carotid arteries. A skillfully executed shimewaza will lead to instant victory. The following techniques are forbidden in competition: applying a choke lock to a part of the body other than the neck, strangulation with the legs, strangulation using the end of the belt or bottom of the jacket, strangulation with fists or fingers. In Nami-juji jime, you cross your wrists and grip your opponent's collar with both hands with your thumbs inside the collar and choke him by applying pressure to the side of his neck. When crossing your wrists, the back of your hand should be facing upward. The main point in Nami-juji jime is to choke your opponent by drawing your hands tightly together. When attempting this technique from beneath your opponent, make sure to pull tightly with your arms to prevent him from pulling you up. Reach around his head and grab the side of his collar with your right hand and pull immediately. And here's how to apply a Nami-juji jime from behind. When applying the technique from behind and under, it's important to restrain your opponent's lower body with your legs to prevent him from pulling you up. In gyaku-juji jime, cross your wrists and grab both sides of your opponent's collar using a reverse grip with the thumbs outside and the fingers inside the collar. Choke him by applying pressure to the side of his neck. Let's watch the action again. Grab the collar so that your palms are facing upwards and choke him right away. Here's how to apply a gyaku-juji jime when you're on your back. Use your legs to control your opponent's lower body, the hips and legs, to prevent him from pulling you up. In kata-juji jime, you cross your wrists and grab both sides of your opponent's collar to choke him by applying pressure to his neck. What makes it different from Nami-juji jime and gyaku-juji jime is that the palms of both hands are facing each other. Lean forward and pull him towards you while applying the choke. Here's how to apply the stranglehold while trapping your opponent's arm in your armpit. Here's how to escape your opponent's kuzure kesagatame by turning him over on his back, following with a stranglehold. Grab the back of his collar with one hand, while the other hand grips the front. Push him back and apply the stranglehold. Here's how to enter into a stranglehold from a standing position facing your opponent. The technique is similar to throwing him over your shoulder. Notice how the right hand grips the collar. The difference in the three juji jime holds lies in the way you grip your opponent's collar. In Nami-juji jime, the thumbs of both hands are inside the collar. In gyaku-juji jime, the palms are turned up with the fingers inside the collar. In kata-juji jime, you cross your wrists so that both palms are facing each other. One hand grabs the opponent's collar with the thumb inside and fingers out, while the other hand does the reverse. Hadaka-jime is a stranglehold applied with both arms without holding the judogi. Clasp your hands together, palms crossed, and pull your opponent towards you, throwing him off balance as you tighten your arms around his neck. You can also lock your arms together to apply the hold. When your opponent is on all fours, turn him over to apply the stranglehold. This is how to apply the stranglehold while facing your opponent on all fours. Be careful of how you clasp your hands and use your upper body to tighten the pressure around his neck. Here's how to apply a stranglehold to an opponent who's attempting to pin you down on your back with a kami shiho gatame. The main point here is the use of your right arm and legs. Once again, take note of how the arm and legs are locked together. This is a variation of Hadaka-jime. Here's the model form or kata of okuri eri-jime. Reach under your opponent's left armpit with your left hand and pull his left lapel down. Reach around his neck with your right hand and grab high up on his left lapel while your left hand grabs the opposite lapel. Apply the choke by drawing your right arm around his neck while pulling down with your left. Here's how to apply the choke from behind an opponent who's on all fours. And this is a demonstration of how to approach from the side when your opponent is on all fours. By bringing your legs around, you can bear down with your upper body to restrain his movements. Use your right arm to prevent him from moving forward and apply the choke. This is a very effective technique since you're holding him in place with your right elbow while applying the choke. Approach your opponent who's on all fours from the front, roll over and apply the stranglehold. Be sure to grab his collar so that your hold around his neck tightens as you roll over. When facing your opponent, put your left arm around his neck to restrain him and apply the stranglehold. Take note of the left hand and the use of the right leg in turning the opponent over. Instead of rolling over sideways, you can also roll backwards. When rolling backwards, make full use of your legs and be sure to maintain contact with your opponent's body. This is a stranglehold which used to be called jigoku-jime. Lock your legs around one of your opponent's arms and pull him down on his back to restrain him and draw your left arm around his neck. Lock his arm between your legs and roll forward to apply the stranglehold. Roll forward on your own accord as soon as you lock your legs around his arm. Besides applying pressure with both hands, you can also use your leg to make the stranglehold more effective. Drawing your leg across his face is against the rules. Let's take another look at the action. This is a variation in which you lock your legs around your opponent's arm and roll forward to go into the stranglehold, placing one leg around his neck. Let's watch several matches in which Yasuhiro Yamashita performs Okuri Eri Jime. The final of the 1981 World Championships, he applies a stranglehold to Rezko of Poland from a kosotogake. Yamashita says he was able to execute an effective hold because he grabbed high up on his opponent's lapel with his right hand, while his left hand pulled hard at the right lapel. And now the 1983 Moscow World Championships. Watch Yamashita's right hand. He has a firm grip on his opponent's collar while he restrains his opponent's wrist with his left hand. By doing so, he succeeds in applying the hold right away. Here, Yamashita avoids his opponent's seoi nage and goes straight into an okuri eri jime. Notice his timing and moves. His left hand was decisive in applying the hold. He managed to pull tightly at his opponent's collar all the way through. Grip your opponent's left lapel with your right hand, as in okuri eri jime. Slide your left hand under his left armpit and control his left arm by pushing it up. Then apply your left arm at the nape of his neck to execute the stranglehold. Pushing his left arm up from below the elbow makes it difficult for him to resist and makes it easier for you to apply the hold. When your opponent is on all fours, approach him from behind and roll over to execute the hold. Let's take a look at this in slow motion. And here's how to approach your opponent from the front to apply kata hajime. For kata tejime, hold your opponent down on his back, grasp his collar from the side with one hand using a grip with the thumb inside and apply pressure to his throat. While grasping his collar with one hand, grip the side of his belt with the other and lean forward to tighten the hold. This is an example of using kata tejime when your opponent is on all fours. Approach from the front and use your right hand. Or you may choose to use your left hand. Pull him close towards you and apply pressure to his throat. The important thing is to restrain his upper body with the inside of your right knee to stop him from rolling over and escaping. For ryo tejime, grasp your opponent's collar with both hands with the thumbs inside and apply pressure to his neck with your fists. This is a ryo tejime applied from a standing position. In order to apply the choke, pull down and twist your fists inwards. And this is how to apply the choke when you're on your back. The main point is to lock his neck between your legs to keep him from pulling you up. This also makes it easier for you to use your hands. This is a Sode Guru Majime applied from under. This involves grasping the sleeves of your jacket with both hands to trap your opponent's head between your arms. Let's take another look at the action. This is how to apply the technique from above. The important thing is to bear down with your body and pull him towards you as you apply pressure with your arms. This is how to apply the hold from behind. This is a Sode Guru Majime applied from below. Notice that both arms move at the same time. Pull his head towards you. As soon as he resists and raises his head, slip your left hand under his chin and apply the hold. To apply tsukomijime, grip your opponent's collar from the front and apply pressure to the neck with your hands. Grasping his left collar with your right hand, bring it underneath his right collar. You can also use a grip with the fingers inside and bring your right hand over or under his right collar to apply the hold. And now for a variation commonly known as necktie jime. Clutch both collars at the bottom of his neck with your right hand, while the left hand grips the right collar and pulls down. Sankakujime is a strangling technique in which you lock your legs around your opponent's neck and under his arm to form a triangle and apply pressure to the neck. When applying this technique from behind, the use of your legs is important, especially the heel of the leg on top. Twisting the heel outwards like this allows you to squeeze more tightly with your left leg. When your opponent is attempting a yoko shihogatame, you can apply sankakujime from under. Quickly bring your left leg around his neck and apply pressure by forming a triangle with your legs. Here's how to apply the technique when your opponent is on all fours. Once you wrap your legs around him in a triangle, roll over and quickly raise yourself so that your body is facing him. This will prevent him from escaping the hold. Take note of how the legs form a triangle around his neck. You can also apply pressure to the neck without raising your body. To make the hold more effective, your legs should form a flattened triangle. The use of dojime is prohibited in randori and in competition. When your opponent attacks from below, wrap your legs around his waist and lock your ankles together. Pull him towards you with both hands and apply the choke with your legs. When your opponent is on all fours, roll him over to apply the choke.